Hi everybody, welcome to Shock Factor series video number 6. And again, in this video, not trying to intentionally initiate or instigate any form of depression going forward in all my viewers, but somebody has to do the dirty job and reveal the ugly stuff. And that's me. I'm the guy. I will show you the ugly stuff. Most traders are totally oblivious to all these issues that I'm trying to present. I'm trying to unveil, especially over the last 6 videos, including this, obviously, and going forward to video at least 11 to 15. So in this video, I'm going to reveal another shocking factor. But you know what? There is a big difference in this video. Just to relieve the depression or concern of all my viewers so far that has been following me up to this point, this video is a bonus to you. I'm going to give you the solution to this issue as my gift to you. At least you can see that there is, the solutions and the resolutions, okay, they actually exist. Yes, that's right. They exist. For every shock issue, there is a solution. But for this video, I've decided to give you the exact solution for this shocking issue that I'm going to be discussing in this particular video. The thing that I'm going to be discussing in this video will be something that I call recovery sizing. What does that mean? Well, basically, in simple terms, it just means that how do you gauge? See, assuming you have 3 or 4 trading systems or 3 or 4 trading approaches based on technical analysis, for example, or whatever it is, or whatever other systems that you have, what is the probability that that system can actually recover from losses that system has experienced in the past? Whatever drawdown that system or that approach has suffered, what is the probability of being actually able to recover from the losses? That is the reason why I refer to this issue as the recovery factor issue. How easy is it to recover from a loss, or how difficult it is to recover from a loss? Okay, so in this video, this is an exception video going all against my whatever I wanted to do in the Shock Factor series. I'm going to give you the solution just for this video. Okay, so that you don't suffer in silence. Okay. Okay, so that at least you can see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but not going forward. Out of the 15 Shock Factor videos, there's only one I'm going to give you the solution. Okay, just to allay your fears, just to show you that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Okay, but until then, although I give you the solution in this video, but not the full solution, 80%, the last 20%, I'll reserve it for another day. Okay, as I said, eventually I will address all these issues, okay, at the end of the day, sometime in the near future. But do please subscribe. Okay, subscribing actually doesn't do anything for me. It just gives me a sense of satisfaction that there are people out there that actually care. Nothing more than that. I don't care about the numbers, honestly, but I just want to know, do people really care about their life savings, their children's future inheritance, and throwing money into the market without knowing what is going on? And when they lose, they top up even more, just to rub salt on the wound. It is mind-boggling. I cannot understand why people do that. Why people do that. Okay, but traders do that. In any other profession, you never see that happen. You never see that happen. So it's only in trading that people jump into the darkness, into a black pond, into a black hole, without knowing how to get out. And that's truly, I'm grappling. I'm trying to understand why people do that. Maybe is it they are too optimistic? Is it they are too desperate? They need to make money right now, right here, right now, right here. Is that the case? And that is the worst mindset you should have. If you are desperate for, so you're assuming you're financially challenged. Let's assume you're financially, and you're trading just to make money, just to pay rent, for example. That is a bad idea. I'm telling you. You know why? I think you know the answer, because you will deviate from your trading plan. You will sidetrack all the trading rules that you have put down, which are probably very awesome, fantastic trading rules and guidelines. You will obviate all that. You will circumvent all that, and just trade because you have to. You have to do a trade this week to pay your rent. So regardless, even if it doesn't trigger your conditions of entry based on your rules, you're still going to enter the trade based on optimism, based on hope. Okay, don't ever do that. You must not do that. As I mentioned in earlier videos, if you do that, you will be introducing endogenous and exogenous randomness into your system. I think that was video 2 or 3, I can't remember. And now you have a bigger problem. Yes. Okay? So I'm the guy I will tell you the honest truth, no matter how ugly it is. And you have to understand all this going forward. I implore you, okay, I beg you, watch all the shock factor videos to the end. All 15, okay? I try to go 15 as best as I can. Now, right now, we're on number 6. But in this video, as I said, it's an exception. I'm going to give you the solution, but not the full 100% solution, 80%. At least you can see a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel. So, okay, let me just summarize. In this video, I'm going to keep quiet after this. This is shock factor video number 6, which represents the 6th hurdle in applying technical analysis in or to the markets. But in this video, this is a gift for me to you. I'll give you the solution, but only 80%, because the other 20% needs a lot of clarification. Okay, so I can't do it within the scope of this particular video. Okay, I do apologize that I can't do it, but I'll do it late eventually. Okay, in the near future, for all the shock factor series issues, for all the videos and all the issues that I've presented to you, I will show you the light at the end of the tunnel eventually. But I'm not going to do it now, except for this. This is an exceptional video. I'll give you 80% of the solution. Okay, so having said that, sit back, put on your seatbelt, put on your crash helmet, maybe make sure you have a nice hot cup of tea in front of you just to relax, chamomile tea or whatever it is that makes you, puts you into a tranquil state, consciously tranquil state to absorb what I'm going to reveal. Okay, so here goes with the rest of the video. Let's press on. Let's go. We shall be covering what I refer to as recovery sizing today. And again, this is a fairly short video. It's not too long, simple to understand, but then the basic underlying principle. Okay, the basic underlying principle is the most important principle of all when it comes to money management. Okay, and let me enlighten you a little bit on that principle itself. So going down, this is the only principle that we need in money management. We always have to deal with the worst case scenario. Okay, so I call it the worst case scenario approach, or WCS. Okay, the worst case scenario approach. This is the only principle you need. Okay, in order to answer any question when it comes to risk, always ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario? And if you cannot come back, you cannot recover, should the worst case scenario ever occur or manifest itself, okay, in your trading account, and you cannot recover from it, then don't pursue it. It's very straightforward. But again, it's not only for extreme cases, but also for cases of various degrees of risk. Let me show you what I mean. So again, I just want to hammer home this point very clearly. The worst case scenario approach is the only approach you ever need, okay, in money management. Always come back to this question. Always ask yourself, what is the worst case scenario? And if it were to ever occur or manifest itself or happen, would I be able to bounce back or recover from that event? If you cannot recover from that particular event or series of events, then do not pursue it. Okay, do something else. Amend it, modify it, change the risk level. Okay, change the way you handle risk. And we shall talk about all that as we move forward for the rest of this masterclass. All right? Okay, let's press on. Okay, let's consider these two scenarios here. Okay, these two scenarios. All right. Let's assume that we are trading 1 mini lot. Of course, the lot size, whatever the lot size doesn't matter. We're just going to base it on units of lots. Okay. So let's assume that just for the sake of simplicity, we're going to deal in mini lots. It can be standard lots, micro lots, whatever. It doesn't matter. Okay, it can be even shares. It can be even futures contracts. It doesn't matter. We're just talking in units of lot size, okay, or trade size. So let's assume we have 10 trades. Okay, we have 10 trades. Okay, and out of the 10 trades, most of the time our lot size is 1 mini lot. Except for one particular trade, we traded with 10 mini lots. Now, having said that, just before we carry on, or just before we continue, let me get my pen. Give me a second. Okay, I just want to say that for this example, we assume something. We assume that the stop sizes or all the stop losses are of the same size. They're all equally sized. Okay, so let's assume that for all these examples, the stop losses or the stop size are identical. It could be 20 pips, it could be 15 pips, 50 pips, 100 pips. It doesn't matter. Just make sure that it's all the same. So we keep everything nice and balanced. So you know what I'm saying is that we want to keep everything on the balanced playing field. Okay, there's no variations, no variability going on. Nothing changes. Okay, nothing changes. So assuming for this example, all 10 trades, they all were based on the same stop size. Okay, just to keep things nice and balanced, so that we don't have any additional things to worry about. All right, so let's assume we have 10 trades. And out of 10 trades, we were trading one lot each, one lot. But for some unknown reason, the last trade you entered 10 lots. Okay, you increased your lot size, your exposure. Okay, to by a factor of 10. But anyway, that doesn't matter why you did that. That you could have a valid reason for doing that. Who knows? But we're not here to discuss that. But let's assume this was the series of trades that you did. Nine trades with 1 mini lot, and the last trade was with 10 mini lots. Okay, now we have to. I'm going to teach you how to apply the principle, how to apply the worst case scenario approach. Okay, it's very simple. We always ask the worst question. We always ask the worst question. That's how we do it. And what is the worst question in this case? In this scenario, what do you think the worst question is, or the worst outcome? What do you think the worst outcome could be? Well, let me explain. Well, the question that we should ask is this: what if for all the trades that we did with 1 mini lot, let's assume that they were all successful trades or fairly successful. You did not profit from every single trade, but overall you made some money. And then let's assume that the trade with 10 mini lots, that was a unsuccessful trade. You lost money. It was a losing trade. So you know what this does? This is the worst case that can happen. All the small lot sizes, all the small positions, they make some money. But the big one, the big position here, that loses money. Now, for this series of 10 trades, either you will wipe up all your profit, give you a loss. If you're lucky, you break even. If you're lucky, you break even. But what is the worst that can happen? Is that the larger lot sizes experience loss, and all the smaller ones experience profit, at least some kind of profitability, although it's not perfect. This is the problem. This is the worst case that can happen. The larger lot sizes lose money, and the smaller ones, well, on average, make some money. This is the worst case scenario outcome. So we must avoid this kind of setup, because we must always assume that the worst case is going to happen. Of course, we are not pessimists, we are optimists. Well, you shouldn't be either. We just traders, and we follow the science of it, the statistics of it, and all that stuff. But having said that, as a trader doing money management, we need to always assume that the worst case is about to happen. Okay, and what do we do about it? So let's assume that all the smaller lot sizes, they're all fairly profitable. Not every single trade, but the larger ones all lose money. That's the worst. So this is very hard for you to recover from something like this. And if this entire pattern repeats itself over and over and over and over again, it's going to be very hard to make money. In fact, you'll be most likely losing money. We're not even adding in the cost of transaction, the commissions and all that, slippage and all. That will make things even worse. So this is the worst case outcome.
Now let's flip it to scenario number 2 now. Let's go over to this is number 1. I think you understand that. So in this case, what do we do about this? What's the solution? I'll give you the solution in a short while. I created something over 10 years ago. I call it the ease of recovery factor. I developed that, a very simple concept, and I'll show you how to use it in a short while using an Excel spreadsheet. So let's jump over to scenario number 2. Now in scenario number 2, let's assume we have again a series of 10 consecutive trades, for example. Okay, now in this case it's slightly different. Everything is in reverse. This is the extreme, is diametrically opposed to the first example here, because I just want to push things to the extreme so that it's easier for you to understand. Sometimes when we exaggerate, the art of exaggeration really brings out the point. Yeah, it really does, rather than just keeping things very, very, very normal. Exaggeration can be a great key to learning. Okay, if you do it, if you do it correctly, obviously. I hope I'm doing it correctly as well. I hope so. Okay, if not, you can always give me some negative feedback. It's okay, and we learn from each other. Okay, now let's assume we have a series of 10 trades, and let's assume in this case every trade you traded with a large lot size of 10 mini lots, for example. So it's 10 mini lots, 10 mini lots, 10 mini lots, and so on. But for the last trade, for some unknown reason, we don't know why that is, but you decided to enter with 1 mini lot. Okay, it could be the kind of methodology you're using, it could be the medication that you're taking, or what, who knows. Let's assume that. So in this case, all the trades are large, of a larger lot size of 10 mini lots. Only for the last trade, it was only 1 mini lot. Now, so what is the worst case scenario approach? How do we, what is the question that we should ask that will bring out the worst case scenario? And the question should be this: what if all the larger lot sizes are not really making money? They're all losing. Overall, some win, some lose, some loss, some wins, some made some profit, some lost some capital, but overall is a loss. Over the series of nine trades using lot size of 10, overall there was a loss. Now let's assume that the one with the smallest lot size, the 1 mini lot, that is the one that made money, that was profitable. Now immediately you can see the problem. No matter how much profit you made from the position with 1 mini lot, it can never cover the loss for all the larger positions. It will not be able to do that. Even if it could, you can consider yourself extremely lucky. It's a miracle. Okay, it's not possible. So let's assume that, for example, all the larger lot size, they're all losing. Not all of them, but overall you have a loss. On average, your expectancy is negative. Okay, below you have a loss here, and this is the only winning trade. Now, that is the worst case that can happen. That can happen. That's the worst case. All the larger lot sizes are losing. It's the smaller ones that make money. Now, do you think you can recover from this? Do you think it's easy to recover? So I refer to it as the ease of recovery. How easy is it to recover? It's going to be very hard to recover from this scenario, from this situation here. In fact, the same with scenario number 1. The ease of recovery will be quite difficult. It won't be so easy. Okay, it'll be quite difficult to recover from either of these scenarios. Very hard to recover. Very hard. So what is the solution? That's why this particular video, we're talking about the recovery sizing, something to do with recovery, the recovery factor. How do we're trying to gauge how easy it is or how difficult it is to recover from the worst case scenario approach. Okay, so again, what's the worst case scenario? Now this, again, I'm just saying, overall this is still not too bad. Okay, now let me rephrase everything. I'm going to confuse you a little bit, but don't get too concerned. This is the way I bring this topic out. This is the way I do it to make it to bring more clarity. Now assume that this is not as bad as I said it was. Assume for now, just for a few seconds, assume that this is not as bad as I said it was, okay? And that, in fact, for all the smaller trades, you actually did make money. But of course, the larger one, you lost money. But let's assume that overall, you still make money. That you have a lot of profit from the first 9 trades with a smaller lot size, but the larger one lost a little bit more. But overall, you still you manage to eke out a little bit of profit there, okay, from the whole situation. So that's great. But you managed to survive. Assume for scenario number 2, it's the same thing as well. For scenario number 2, assuming that the first 9 trades where you had the larger lot size of 10 million loss, assume that it was not too bad. It was not too bad. Okay, and you did not lose that much. You lost a bit, but not that much. It is almost break even. And this little trade at the end, that was enough to give you a break even or a little bit of profit overall. Assume that that is wishful thinking, obviously, but let's assume that was the case. But so far that should be okay. Sometimes that will unfold. Sometimes when you trade, that this is the kind of things that can unfold. Okay, it's not always going to be the worst case scenario. It's not always going to be the best case. It's going to be somewhere in the middle. Okay, which is not that good either. Once you incorporate and you account for all the trading costs, commissions and all that stuff, slippage and all, things will not be so nice and rosy, of course. So having said that, the worst case scenario is this. The worst thing that you can ever do, because in this case you still may have a chance to survive, because most of the trades, although they're all 1 million loss, assuming that it's fairly successful, only one large damaging trade it can't do that much of a damage. It's only 1 out of 10. Okay, 1 out of 10. Similarly here. Okay, if the first 9 trades are not really profitable but not too bad, this one trade, although it's of a much smaller, significantly smaller lot size, it may be just enough to tip the balance and give you get you to break even, or at least make a little bit of money. Hopefully. Okay, so this is the best of the worst case scenario, the best outcome from a worst case scenario setup. Okay, but what is the worst of the worst? The worst of the worst is this. That means half the trades. Let's assume we have 10 trades here. Half of it is 10 mini lots. The other half is 1 mini lot. Very extreme. Similar here. See, so both of these will be equalized. Okay, so the worst case scenario is to have something like this. Let me show you. Okay, you to have like say 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 5 trades. Then the next 5 trades is 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 mini lot. This is the worst case, the worst setup that you can ever have in trading. The worst setup, because assume that you have losses here, it's impossible to come back. But if all of it is just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, and 1, 10 here, it's not too bad. You can still handle it. Or if it's all 10, 10, 10, 10, 10 million loss, 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 and 1. This overall, you can ignore this. It's as if they're all equal. So if you have all equal number of trades, whatever you lose to recover, to come back, you have the same power of recovery. It's the same number of lots, the same lot size. Similar here, if you take all this and we ignore this, and we ignore the large one, just take all the small ones. Whatever you lose and make, you have equal power of coming back. Assuming okay, that we are trading with a percentage of original capital. Okay, remember the percentage of original capital, not percentage of current capital. We've done that already in resizing. So that you lose 5 trades, you win 5 trades, you come back to break even. Okay, we have no asymmetry, because I'm not talking about percentage of current capital. I just want to ignore that for now, so that it's easy for me to convey to you the information that you need to understand in this particular masterclass. So you see, so the trick is this. Let me go back again. The trick is this. Okay, let me show you. The trick is this. Take the last one, ignore it. Take the last one, ignore it. So assuming that most of it is all large lot sizes, or most of it are small lot sizes. So the power, whenever you lose money, the ability to recover and come back, you have the same power of recovery. Okay, this doesn't affect much, because it's only 1 out of 10 trades, or maybe 1 out of 20 trades. But if you have this scenario, everything changes. You have equal amount of large and equal amount of small trades. This is the worst. The worst is to have a 50% ratio, half small, half large. Might as well not trade at all. Let me tell you, just give up trading and go do some other thing. Okay, open a business, sell flowers or whatever you want to do. Don't trade. You're not going to survive. The ease of recovery is the lowest in this scenario. If it's all 5, the first 5 and the last 5 is all 1 mini lot, no problem. Whatever you lose here, you can recover here. No problem. The same amount of work. It is easier to come back from a loss. And if it's all 10, you just add a 0 here. All 10, It's exactly the same thing. It's still, there's no asymmetry. No problem. Whatever you lost here or you lose here, you can recover here. Okay, sorry, again. You can recover over easily. You can bounce back, you can recover, you can recoup the losses very easily because you have an equal power of losing and winning. But if you have this scenario here, something like this, and you have 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 1, 1, 1. So this is extreme. This is extreme. This is extreme, okay? 5 here, 5 here. Almost impossible to come back. But a lot of beginners, even professional fund managers, they don't know this. They don't know. They don't understand the concept of ease of recovery or the ability to recover. There's nowhere in the world you have this. I had to invent this myself. At least it's a simple gauge as to whether you are able to recover. Okay, it's not the be all and end all of money management. It's not. It's just one part of it. I call it recovery sizing. Okay, the size that you need in order to be able to recover. Okay, and of course the answer is that it all should be about the same. Okay, so the answer to this, the ease of recovery, the power to recover from losses, is to have all your lot size nearly the same size, at nearly the same same size basically. So if it's all 1 million lot, every trade should be 1 million lot. Maybe one trade can be 8 or 9. This is just an outlier event, based on the methodology, but it's only one of many trades. It's fine. Or if it's all 10 million lots and so on, one trade could be one, very small, but that's okay. It's an outlier. It's a small event. It won't affect your overall number of trades, which is around 10 million lots. These scenarios are okay. Not this one. Half large, half small is the worst. You have to trust me on this. Even if you made money and you lost some money, to come back is very difficult. Very difficult. You must avoid the 50% ratio. Okay, so let me pop over to the spreadsheet now, just to elaborate a little bit more. Okay, just a quick one before we go forward. Before we move to the spreadsheet, let me just do it one last time. Say you have 2 sets of trades, for example, like this. You have 5 trades here, 5 trades here. Of course, this is just an arbitrary set amount. Here you have large lot sizes. Here you have small lot sizes. Okay. This is the worst case scenario, because the question we should ask based on the worst case scenario approach is, what if the losses appear here and the winning trades appear over here? It's going to be hard to survive. Okay, so we do not want to have scenario like this. But if it's all equal, for example, the first 5 trades, they're all same size or equal size. Okay, all equal. Whatever you lose here, you can recover here very easily because you have the same power of recovery, the same lot size. When you move in this across a certain distance, as you traverse across a certain number of pips or whatever contracts you're trading, you make and lose the same amount. It's easier to come back. If your losses are from the large lot sizes and your wins are from the smaller ones, it's going to be very difficult. And this, of course, will represent what I call the worst case scenario. Okay, this one, there is no worst case scenario. You're all equal. You don't have a worst case scenario. Well, the worst case, you lose every single trade. That's the worst case. But at least you have the power to come back. There is a potential to recover. That's the trick. That's the trick. You have a potential to recover. Here, if the worst case happens, you don't have any potential to recover. It's very difficult. You might have a slight potential to recover, but it's very difficult. Almost impossible. In the real world, of course. Conceptually, there might be a way to do it, but not in the real world. So this is the very important concept that you must understand. Today's lesson, in fact, should be labeled as the worst case scenario analysis or approach, rather than recovery sizing. But of course, they're all intertwined, they're all connected, of course, obviously. Okay, so again, this is the part this is the crunch point where you need to understand why are we using the worst case scenario approach. So therefore, if this is the case, we need to find a way to evaluate what I call how easy is it to recover, the ease of recovery. Is there a way to do it? Yes, there is a way to do it. Because we know this is the worst case scenario, 50% large, 50% small. This is fantastic all the way through, equal lot size, it all equal and so on. So you don't have a recovery issue here. Here you do have, if the losses are coming from here, okay, and the profits are coming from here, you have a massive problem, obviously. So what we need to do, we need to use a spreadsheet to give us a gauge. it's just a gauge as to see what kind of recovery, what is the degree of recovery that we have based on our trading performance. Okay, assuming again you don't forget the assumptions we made earlier, or at least one assumption was that our stop sizes are all equal. Okay, so only the lot sizes are variable, and this is where you have to gauge the ease of recovery factor based on the lot size. Okay. All right, let's pop over now to the spreadsheet and let me show you how we do that. How we can come up with a single number, a single individual specific number, so that we are able to compare. Say you have three different trading systems. The question is, if somebody asks you as a fund manager, which trading system has the greatest power of recovery? At least you know how to do it. So let me show you how to do it. Okay, pop over to the spreadsheet right now. Now again, I call it the ease of recovery. So how do we define the degree of recovery for particular trading performance? Well, this is how we do it. I've developed this in a very simple way, not difficult to understand, very straightforward. At least it gives you a number. So this number can be used for comparative purposes between different trading systems, between different trading performances. So this number is the ease of recovery number. How easy or potentially easy to recover from losses. So how you do it is very simple. For example, we have 20 trades, 20 positions. We have 20 consecutive trades, for example. And then what you do for each trade, we record the lot size for each trade. We record down the lot size for each trade. Let's say trade number 1, the lot size 1 mini lot. Trade number 5, the lot size was 15 mini lots, and so on. Okay, all variable, all different. Assuming that is the way you trade. So we take all these lot sizes here for the first 20 trades, we sort them out, and after we sorted them out from the smallest to the largest, we get this sequence over here. This is the same as this. Both these columns are the same. Okay, but this is sorted out. That means this is the first, although there are 20 positions, 20 trades, this is the first 10 smallest trades in terms of lot size. And this is the 10 largest ones, the 10 larger ones. Okay, in terms of lot size, again, with respect to the lot size. So what you do, you take all this and we find the average. So 1 plus 2 plus 2 and so on, add it all up, divide by 10. So on average it's 4.9. So this entire, the first 10 smaller lot sizes, on average they are about 4.9 mini lots per trade. Okay, on average about 4.9. Then you take the larger ones, the next 10 larger ones, you add it all up together, divide by 10, you get 13.8. So on average it's all about 13.8 on average. So how do you find the ease of recovery factor, the number? How do we define and distill it down to a single digit, that's what, a single number, so we can compare systems? Okay, we can compare which system has a better degree of recovery as compared to others. So we take the small amount here, divide it by the larger amount. So if you take this, divide by this, you get 0.35. Okay, so this value is an indicator. Okay, this value indicates how easy is it to recover, which is not. What we want is something like this. Here. Assuming everything is equal, all the lot sizes, this is the perfect scenario. All the lot sizes are equal. So if you take the smaller average, which is 1, divided by the next larger 10 lot size, which again is also 1, you get a value of 1. So EOR, or ease of recovery, is 1. 1 means that's the perfect system with almost no there is no a negative bias built into the system, and you can this system will give you the best chances of recovery. Any value that's equal to 1 is the highest value, so it gives you a chance, the highest potential of recovery. If you want to recover, if you do your best, okay, to recover this, it gives you the highest chance of getting back or recouping all your lost capital. 1 is the highest value. Anything below 1, like for example 0.35, is not very good. This is honestly, this is not very good. This is a typical scenario where beginners, whenever they trade, their lot sizes are jumping all over the place, here, there, from here to Mexico. So you're going to get some value below 1. But this is the ultimate value. This means that you are able to recover, without too many challenges, without too many obstacles, you have the highest chance of recovery, because the highest value is 1. Anything below 1, like in this case, for example, is not very good. So now you have a basis of comparison between trading systems. Now you're able to do that. Of course, it will not be 20 trades. You might have 2,000 trades. So you take the first 1,000, the average of the first 1,000 trades lot sizes, divide by the average of the next 1,000 larger lot sizes. Take the average, divide the smaller by the larger, and see whether you get close to 1. If you get close to 1, means you have a higher chance of recovery. You got a better chance of survival in the long run. Let me say this again. Your survivability factor is definitely much better with a value that's closer to 1. Anything less than 1 is less desirable, obviously, of course. So this is how you do it. This is the way that I wanted to find a way to give a single digit, a single number that allows you to compare the recovery factor between different systems. And this is the easiest way to do it. Of course, I'm sure there's other ways you can do it, but I devised this system to make it easy for you. Okay, so now you can distill everything down to a number. So if I ask you, what is your recovery factor for your system, you can immediately tell me what it is. Take all the trades, maybe it's 5,000 trades, divide into half, 2,005, divide the average of the first 2,005 smaller trades, sort it all out in order first, divided by the larger 2,005 trades, and divide the smaller by the larger, and you can give me the number. You can give me the EOR number, which is whatever it is that your system is doing. So if you have 2 or 3 systems running at the same time, you will be able to tell me, or as a fund manager yourself, which system has the highest chance of recovering. Okay, and this is a very important point. So I call this recovery sizing. How you size your positions in order to give you the highest chance of recovery, of coming back, of recoupability. Okay, all right, being reparable, being able to repair your drawdowns. Okay, reverse your drawdowns, the chances of coming back. All right, phoenix rising from the ashes. Okay, now having said that, the last point I want to make is quite straightforward. Now, thank you so much for joining me in this session. I do thank you for your time again. I shall see you in the next video session. But until then, as usual, take care, be safe, and bye-bye.